Welcome to the South of England show. The sun is out, the course is set, and we're ready for the second round of the International Stairway series. Now, as the name suggests, the course is built to international standards. We've got the water jump, we've got the triple combination. It is maximum height today. It is world-class show jumping brought to these popular county shows. So we've come down to the stable yard to find last week's winning combination. It's Alfie and Graham Lovegrove. Now, Graham, it would be easy to think that you could just go out and do exactly the same again today, but show jumping doesn't necessarily work like that.
No, you know, it's a luck on the day as much as anything. As a Stairway series is a league, and I'm sure you'll probably have 7 different winners, you know, of the league. But I just want to try and be consistent with Alfie, and you know, hopefully we can score enough points to finish on the top of the league. You know, that's the whole thing for me.
And in terms of sort of him as his character, does he get nervous for these big events?
Yeah, he does. He's actually quite shy, but he's very spooky about everything. You know, the noise, the crowd will get him going. He'll start bucking like he did. You know, you saw him last week. He's bucking and kicking, but that's good for him. You get his adrenaline going, and he performs much better when his blood's up.
Well, all the best to you both today. Let's take a closer look then at the leaderboard heading into today's competition. So as you can see there, Graham and Alfie lead the way. They picked up a maximum 12 points at Suffolk show. Tim Davis, Valentino picked up 9. Tim Gredley, Unix, Amiga Star came in 3rd. They pick up 8 points. Philip Miller was 4th, and young rider Chloe Winchester was 5th. It goes right down to 8th placed Louise Saywell picked up the 3 points. Tim, 2nd on the leaderboard then after Suffolk County. How are you feeling ahead of today?
Yeah, very confident. He felt very good at Suffolk. I think it's a really nice course out here today. He's jumped here before. He likes these big grass arenas. The going's good. You know, when they're like that and they feel confident, you know, you feel that you can sort of jump anything, and hopefully he'll do it again today.
Well, let's not forget that the British show jumpers are reigning Olympic and European champions. Now, one man who is integral to the current success of the British team is Rob Hoekstra. Rob, tell me, why is the Stairway series so important for British show jumping?
Well, for me, it's a connection between the national circuit and those riders that want to get into the Nations Cup teams. And so it's very interesting for me, obviously, to watch to see what talent we've got coming up. There's a number of young horses and younger riders that are coming up through these Stairway series. And I'm hoping to select some of them for some of the Nations Cups. Because
it's only 2 years now to Rio. Your job, though, carries on. Is it all looking rosy for British show jumping?
Well, I mean, Rio is another big challenge, of course. And, you know, we're working very hard towards it. We've first got to qualify, don't forget. So we're going to the World Games this September. We need to be in the top 5 there, ideally, to qualify for the Olympic Games, and then we'll go from there.
Well, you'll be keeping your beady eyes on today's action. Let's head over to our commentary box to find out what happens in round 1 with Stephen Wild.
Thank you very much, Ali. Yes, the sun's out down here in Sussex at the South of England show. A beautiful arena that could rival any international show in the world. And what better place to produce those top international horses, and of course featuring our riders as well. William Funnell, European gold medalist, as part of the team in 2013 alongside world number 1s Scott Brash and Ben Mayer, and of course Michael Whitaker as well. He's a 3-time Hickstead Derby winner with the great Mondrian and has produced so many top horses. This another one that's really rising up through the ranks. 8 years of age and fathered by his top European gold medal winning horse Billy Congo. And William Funnell, could he be one to start to shake around the series, making his first appearance here in the series for the International Stairway, and it is down at his native south of England. Will, 44 times he's appeared on Nations Cups for Great Britain and is a real master, alongside his wife Pippa Funnell, of course known for her great exploits in the world of eventing at producing top horses throughout the season. Here they've asked a whole host of different tests, as we've seen. We've got a light plank there that can fall so easily. Then coming down to the water jump, it's just the poles that count as a fence this time. And then they've got to have all the control ready for that vertical that comes up, the narrow vertical after that. Going past another of our fences that featured in London in 2012 at the Olympic Games. And the course designer here this week, Bob Ellis, who was the man who produced the courses in Greenwich and London, where Britain had Olympic gold success. The triple bar that gets them to really stretch out, open up the horses, then they've got to have the control back, ready for this fence, just like a rubber ball over the last 82.43 and clear. William Funnell starts to make his mark on the International Stairway with Billy Onslow.
You get to find out a lot about your horse and to educate it in the stuff that you need to be doing, especially, riders that don't jump international as much. Then it's a great stepping stone for a rider as well to jump lines that are a bit more complicated and courses that are of an international standard.
And another rider to feature here at the South of England for the very first time is Charlotte Platt. Well-established international rider. She's represented Great Britain on 11 occasions, and she's a former young rider, European gold medalist in the under-21s. Now with another ride to keep her at the very top is Carlo Cruiser. Previously competing with top rides, including Paulian, a break for the last few years producing some top horses, and now this 16-year-old horse that is certainly going to keep her up in the top few. It's a former eventer, has jumped round the Hickstead Derby successfully before now and a number of international tracks, and now in the hands of Charlotte this season has really been enjoying themselves in top national and now moving international competition as well. The International Stairway, a very interesting format for strategy indeed. Always 5 minimum to go forward to the second round of all the clear rounds, and actually they go in reverse order, so the quickest of the clears will go last. They go in pole position. They see exactly what the others have done already, so they can play their strategy as to how they win the class. In this first round, though, it also plays into the strategy too, as they're thinking about their time, looking for their position in round 2. And again, you could have 4 faults, you could have a fence down and still make it through to round 2. You'll see some of the riders move up the pace to try and do that, but they need to be first and foremost inside the time of 86 seconds. That's been worked out against the distance of the course, and that's also a big factor here. And it is a big factor with this one time for Charlotte Platt and Carlo Cruiser, just over that time allowed of 86. It's a tiny fraction, but makes all the difference. Graham Lovegrove, of course, the series ranking leader at the moment after great success down in Suffolk, now turning his attention to the south of England. The familiar dark glasses on, and he's got that steely stare underneath as he focuses on a potential win here and a lot more points in the International Stairway series. This would be a big one for him again to catch the eye of those like Rob Herkstra, of course, the team performance manager for Great Britain. We saw him a little earlier on. He's watching on. Good performance down in Suffolk. Could that be another one to make them a factor to be part of British teams this season? Again, he's thinking about the time a little, comes fairly tightly there, keeps the pace up. At the opening round in Suffolk, he's one of the slower rides to come forward in the jump off and managed to win it from the front. Maybe taking a slightly different strategy here. Graham with the final line picks up here into that stretch out over the triple bar and then slightly on the curve to this final vertical. He's another one to pick up time again, 86.15. One time for Graham Lovegrove and Alfie 192, so he sits on 1, the same as Charlotte Platt. And it would prove costly. Charlotte Platt and Graham Lovegrove just missing out 6 clears, and the national champion, Nigel Cobb, will be the combination to go in pole position.
Well, Charlotte Platt here was one of the unfortunate riders that picked up 1 time fault. Charlotte, could you do it better next time, faster next time?
Yeah, I think there's a few places that I added a stride. I could have been a bit quicker around the corners, but hey, I think I was a 0.11 of a second over. So just the finer points, but next time, not happen again.
Graham, so close to making that jump off. Just did you realise when you were jumping how close you were to the time?
I messed up the line, to be fair to the horse, from the plank to the water. My plan was always to go 6 strides up there rather than the 7, because I knew the distance is always short for him. That I had a bad strop to the plank. I was too close for him, so he did a bit of an up and a down jump. I didn't get my travel across. I ended up going 7 there, which I knew was costing me time. You know, he did land in the water after, but I tried to make up the time best I could afterwards, but, you know, it just wasn't to be.
Join us for all the action from round 2 after the break.
So we've got 6 through to the jump off. Tim Davis there, really well placed to move to the top of the leaderboard in the series. He has 2 horses through to the final phase here. Let's have a word with our course builder, Olympic course builder Bob Ellis. Come on then, Bob, talk us through the jump off course.
We're starting off over a new fence, fence 13, and then a very short turn to fence 8, and then up the original fence 4 and 5AB, fence 2, 9, which is a different line completely, and then the London fence the other way, and then to another new fence, another vertical to finish.
So which parts of the course then do you foresee causing the most trouble?
I don't think any particular fence will cause trouble. They've got to decide how short they're going to turn to what would be the second fence in the jump off, which is quite a tall vertical.
And who's your money on?
Tim Davis has got a hell of a chance because he's got 2 rides in it. But I would think he will be there or thereabouts.
Thank you very much. You're doing a fantastic job. So let's hand back to our commentator, Stephen Wild, who's going to take us through the jump.
Thank you very much, Ali. Yes, Tim Davis will actually lead us off with Salome the second. One of 2 rides, double-handed chance here in the jump off. The Suffolk rider on this 14-year-old. One of 2 horses he took to the big international competitions in Copenhagen last season. And as Bob said, how tight do they turn? And that's where the penalty would come. He just dares them in there. If you turn a little bit too tight, well, you can't make the height over the vertical. And it's a turn away there too. Circle on course, which means they're going to get 4 faults for that as well. So up to the 8. So it's going to come down to his second ride to see if he can take the spoils down here in Sussex. Tim, a great performer before now on the International Stairway Series. And dropping poles today, I'm afraid. As Bob said, new lines. Back we come round to this final run. It's the London fence to a new vertical. Again, they can go as tight as they wish to this if they're looking to make up time. It's not been the one he wanted, I'm afraid, just rolls off the last as well. 71.16 for Tim Davis and the ride of Salome the second. And it'll be down to his second ride to make recompense. Turn back here to the second on course. And as Bob said, how tight do you go? And I'm afraid that's where the poles started falling. Billy Onslow and William Funnell on this 8-year-old. William, of course, with all that experience. He'll be seeing how much he asks of this horse stepping into international competition now. Gets it right over the second. And then how wide do they go to the rest? What's the strategy? Is he looking just for the clear, or is he going to keep up the pace? Through the double. Not running too hard, but nice rhythm at the moment as they come up to this spread. Pushes for the back bar, just touches it behind, but it stays. Then they've got to keep the concentration in this very busy arena here at the south of England. Down to the last. It looks as though there's space in there to beat them on time, but they're going to get home with the clear first and foremost. Leaves the pressure on the rest. 59.25 clear for William Funnell, and a horse that's no doubt destined for international top honours, Billy Onslow. A measured round from Will, but it looks to me like there's a bit of room in there to try and beat that time. but he could pick up valuable points in the series. How fast do they dare go now? Tracy Priest, Marketa Minka on this 8-year-old. She's already stepping up with a quick pace from the off. William Funnell, as I say, there is left some room in there. You'll be able to see as we come around here, she comes tighter and gets the one she wants over that fence. So she's potentially already up on the clock. And she's already coming at a quicker rhythm too. Looks good so far. Tracy Priest in with a very good chance. That delicate vertical on the way in. Now on the turn back, she edges up once again. They've got to stretch out over this spread, and she's flying along. Now, Tracy, where's she going? Wrong fence. Oh, the adrenaline's taken over. She's gone the wrong route, which sadly will mean elimination. Oh, just so in the moment. Oh, she'll kick herself for that. She was in with a great chance there. This is where it went wrong. She should have gone left turn back on herself and jumped this fence in the opposite direction. Sorry, Tracy.
I haven't done that for so many years. I cannot believe that I just couldn't have done that on such a prestigious class.
The pressure piling on for Tracy Priest. It is still William Funnell that leads the way with Billy Onslow, and at the moment, Tim Davis in second place. We're at the halfway stage with 3 more to come in the second round. Now to Simon Crippen on this 12-year-old mare, Ondine de Logis. They featured as part of a British squad in Belgium last year and has been stepping up again with development in these kind of classes, and he turns just a little too tight. It comes down. That was the test that the course designer was looking at. Now, even with 4 faults, oh, as another. Well, they're really falling this afternoon. Again, he can still move up in a few placings. William Funnell's round looking better and better all the time. That measured round on Billy Onslow. The others are making the errors. On the 8 faults as they come down to finish off. This is the way that Tracy Priest should have gone. And then turning up to the last. We can see on the clock, Will Funnell's round, it wasn't that quick, 58.68. It was a very good round, but 8 faults there for Simon Crippen. He would have been faster, but he did have a couple down en route. It puts him in second place at the moment and leaves Will Funnell in front. But the door is still open, as we see turning up here. And this is what Bob said. They've got to get all the height and power over that vertical. Nigel Kaup makes the trip down from the north of England once again, the national champion with Golvers Hill. Second in the series last year in the International Stairway, and more than capable. He's spot on. You can see already moving up the pace here. He's in with a very good chance. They've produced clear after clear before now. Now the pressure's on to do it again. Out the double, now moves off the leg. Leans down as they come on the pace and comes as tight as he dares to this spread. Reach out over this. Back up the arena. Looking good for time so far, edging towards the wings, saving valuable fractions of a second at this level. He's got one more to come and he looks really good for time, 59.25. If he comes to the last, he can get it. And it drops away. Just the final vertical, 56.45. It means they finish on 4 faults. And as you can see, Nigel just blames himself over that last fence. Tim Davis, Valentino, our final combination. The door's wide open for them. It's a naturally quick pairing, this horse. Really good against the clock. Turns up here. They're a well-established partnership now. He knows the buttons he can press on this horse. This would be a big danger to William Funnell's lead with the one left to come. Asks down there. Pushes up the pace through and gets quite close to that first vertical. Goes a little wider here, but he knows there's plenty of margin in there. He's seen rounds already quicker. He knows it can be done. Comes there slightly on the angle. Moves quickly away. They turn back on themselves there to this vertical. Now, again, just like Nigel, he's got the leader on the clock. He's got to leave the last fence up. Runs to it and leaves it. It is by a good margin, 55.50. Tim Davis and Valentino score here at the South of England. Fantastic round from them, and is our winner in this leg of the International Stairway. Consistent performances from both Tim Davis and Will Funnell, our 2 double clears, finishing in first and second. And how about the overall lineup? Tim Davis, as we know, our winner. Nigel Kaup, just with that last fence down, finishes in third. Charlotte Platt and Graham Lovegrove with the 1 time fault. Well, they'll still pick up points as well in this round of the International Stairway Series. It leaves Tim Davis at the top of the table on 21 points. Graham Lovegrove still in there in second spot at the moment, and Nigel Kaup in third.
With these classes, it's easy to go too quick, chase them out of their rhythm, and you can make a mistake. I tried to go fast enough without going crazy, and actually he was surprisingly fast.
Were you surprised with how few clears there were in general in both the first round and the second round?
The stairway always catches them out. There's never usually more than 5 clears. I mean, there were 6 today, I think. And then in the jump off, you don't usually get a lot of double clears. It's all about the jumping and being sensible in the jump off. And like you say, I was last to go, so I knew what I needed to do.
Put a bit of distance between you and Graham?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's good. It takes a bit of pressure off, but also I don't want to become complacent. It'd be nice to get a few more placings. And while he feels as good as he does, I'm going to sort of carry on with that, and hopefully he'll just carry on going well and doing well.
We'll see how many more they feature in, and they featured well today in front of British team performance manager Rob Herkstra, who hands out the awards here in the glorious sunshine of the South of England show. A good performance once again from Tim Davis. Their consistency, they've been part of teams before and could well be again an exciting round for riders and also potential equine superstars of the future.
So the big class has finished, but the riders will be here over the next few days competing some of their less experienced horses. Congratulations to Tim Davis. He certainly put some distance between himself and Graham Lovegrove at the top of the leaderboard. The International Stairway Series will continue up and down the country, but we'll be at the Royal Norfolk Show next. See you then.